Hey, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the I Told You Show. In studio with me today is Chrissy and Candy. Now, that's going to be hard to keep you guys separate.
It was weird because the other night it was Kristen, Christina, and Christina again.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy.
But tonight, our special edition episode is about some old news, and that is the former President Obama's birth certificate. And it looks like it might be,
Might?
yeah, a little bit. Well, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
I
Is.
can.
I can't believe it. I swear. We were all meeting up earlier to do another podcast. I don't want to shout out to Cindy and her ladies. That was
Yeah,
a wonderful
great.
lunch. Everybody showed up. There was some really great conversations. Unfortunately, we didn't capture it all because it ran over, but we're going to be having bits and pieces of that and the ladies and stuff on the show. So it was a great day, don't you think?
Oh yeah, they were so nice.
Weren't they? Yeah, they were.
It
Everybody
was nice to
very
be around a lot of
conservative.
conservative
Yes.
women and Alan.
Yeah, it was nice. Alan was the only man.
Yeah,
It was
slightly
funny.
outnumbered.
So I was leaving to go meet you guys, and I was looking at my phone, and this pops up. I think I sent it to you, and I sent it to him, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Holy cannoli! Like, I can't believe this," because this investigation started in 2011 is when they started saying all
Mhm.
this was going on, and any of us that said anything about it, we were racist because
No,
we were white. And
instantly.
yes, and that's so horrible. And even when the sheriff in this is Arizona's sheriff, Joe Aparo, he used to be the sheriff of America. Everybody used to love him
Yep.
until he started talking about this, and they ridiculed him, belittled him, you name it, they did it to him. I
Yeah.
just so I started listening to it. So we're going to attach a link to the video that got us to do the show tonight, and you're going to be like, "Oh my gosh." So what I kind of did is I went through, listened to it twice, and I took notes. So I think I'm the one most versed in it. So what I'm
Yes,
going to
you
do
are.
is read what I know, and then we're going to talk about it and see what you guys think, if it's
Sure.
the same thing what I think, because I can't believe it. So the news source is Fox News, and it comes from Phoenix, Arizona. It's called News Now Fox 10, Phoenix, Arizona. And what they were talking about was the Maricopa Sheriff Joe Arpaio was asked to investigate, along with investigator Mike Zullo, fake documents. Okay, they weren't looking to see if Obama's birth certificate was fake. They made it very clear several times during this news interview that they weren't going after this because they said they both voted for Obama back then.
Yes, that's what they said on
Yep.
the video.
They said they voted for Obama back then. So what they were trying to do was go in and show the birth certificate was legit to shut everybody up about it.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
That's how they were going into it. They straight up admitted that. If you watch the video, you'll see what I mean. So they were hoping that they were going to clear Obama, and they were really, in their words, dead wrong.
Yeah.
Dead wrong.
Ouch.
Yeah. And the biggest thing about this is that this very birth certificate was the one the White House would show everybody as Obama's official birth certificate.
Yeah, if we go back in time a little bit and remember it, there was some concern brought forward that he was not a natural-born U.S. citizen,
Right.
that he was either naturalized or whatever, but not natural-born. And you have to be in order to be president of the United States. You can be foreign-born and become a citizen of the United States and hold other offices, but you cannot hold the presidency. So there was some question brought forward back then, and this document comes up, and people are saying, see, and other people are saying, oh, no, it's real. So there was an investigation to determine the validity of the document, not to determine whether he was, American born or not. It was the document. And they tried to
Right.
make that very clear, but of course the spin people.
Right. They took it and, well, you're all Republicans and conservatives. Well, they are now. I don't know if they were then, but
Well, they voted for Obama, so.
right. And I mean, back then, I voted for Obama once. I voted for him the first time myself. I was an independent.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us voted for him because of the message that he was portraying. But if we would have known this, I don't think that we would have, he couldn't have even ran.
No, it couldn't have been president.
And now
Yes.
you can't do anything about it anyways.
No, so that chunk of time in America and all the stuff that happened, because I feel like the race the things between the races was worsened when it was promised he was going to try to make it better.
Sadly, I agree
And
with
I
you.
feel like it was worsened. I feel like the word racist and all those isms that they want to throw on everybody were really thrown around a lot during that time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were put in boxes, and everybody's labeled now, male, female, transgender, black, white, Hispanic, and not Americans. Everybody's in these boxes now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
how we're supposed to look at each other now. And I don't agree with that, but
So
I think that's where it
Now
started.
it's
but that's a
massive
whole nother
division
thing.
instead of unity.
Right.
Yeah.
And because everybody's in boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just stupid. I think that's stupid. So anyway, back to the original subject. So this all started in 2011, like I said, and here we are, 2025. This news show, or this news brief came out in January, right after President Trump was elected. So keeping in mind that this document was the same document that the White House was using as Obama's official birth certificate to get everybody to be quiet about whether he was or wasn't a
Right.
citizen. So what they did is they gave this document to two different forensic scientists that do documents. They're forensic document scientists. That's what they do. They look for fraud. They know the signs of fraud. They know what kinds of things to look for. Even if somebody's really good at it, they can still figure it
Yeah,
out.
they check the signatures and all of that.
Yeah, they do signature checks. They do the type of how you make your S. Is the sling the same? I mean, they can tell a forged document pretty much after several different tests. So they gave this to two separate ones, one in this country and one in another country.
Right. And they
were-
didn't know each other was working on it.
No, they didn't know each other was working on it because they wanted a true opinion. Because this sheriff and this investigator voted for President Obama, and they wanted to shut everybody up about it. So they wanted to make sure whatever they found out was fully legit, because they didn't want to be the ones telling us all the wrong thing. They wanted to come out and know
Right.
for sure what they were telling us was correct. Well, when all the investigation came back and all the paperwork came back, those two people came back to the same exact conclusion.
And one of the people, one of the investigators, also voted for Obama.
Yeah.
So this isn't like it was some kind of
Conspiracy.
Republican witch hunt.
No, it wasn't.
Right.
It just took a long time for them to be able to get the documents that they needed from Hawaii, and for them to be able to compare them in so many different ways. It's really, when you watch it, it's kind of confusing, but then if you think of it, it's kind of simple. Because they found 9, hold on, let me flip my page here. They found 9 points of forgery.
9 points of forgery.
9 points of forgery on his birth certificate. Photoshop and cut and paste was used.
Oh,
And-
Ouch.
Yeah. And when you watch, if you watch the clip, they will compare the documents on the screen for you. They show you Obama's birth certificate, and they show you another person's birth certificate. And let's see, what is her name? Because it's odd. Her name's Johanna Ni.
Hmm.
Okay. They show them together. They also took a chunk of birth certificates from that same time period, that same time capsule, if you will, for a 16-day period. Okay. They had to get all the birth certificates for a 16-day period in that county, in that city, in that time, right? So they could compare. Were they all stamped the same? Were they all signed the same? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And when they put all those into the database and started comparing everything, this lady, Johanna Ani, and Obama's a lot of the boxes were identical matches. But if you think of it, if a human is stamping something, they're not going to stamp it exactly in the same position in the box, and
Right.
exactly at the same angle in the box. Think about it. We're humans. We don't have.
Yeah.
So when they compared all of those documents, they found 9 points where her information was pasted into his information.
Mm.
It matches exactly. When
Well,
you watch this
even when-
video, it's insane.
Even when we sign our own document, if you sign something,
You don't know
you never
exactly-
sign it twice the same.
No.
Never twice.
The whole-
Close, but not the same.
The
Yeah.
whole thing with this, why did it take this long? That's the first question. And the second one is, we can't do shit about it now?
We can't do anything about it now, but
And why did it take this long? Forensic scientists usually don't take how many plus years to
I
do
think that
this?
I think that they really, really, really looked into it, because
For-
they even found out about the paper. You know how like our
we're
birth
talking
certificates
13
are on
years.
that weird paper?
Yeah.
They found the paper that is used, and I can't remember the place it comes from, but the place it comes from is secure. Like they only sell that paper to legitimate
Right.
governments.
Right.
But he also found that you can buy paper that's just like it on eBay and Amazon.
Is there like a federal crime
Really?
note?
Yes.
Is
How,
there?
how does it get there?
That's what his question is. He goes, so he goes, I found it. He goes, unfortunately, he goes, I looked for this paper
Could there be
for
criminal
Hawaii,
charges?
and I found it.
in this?
Yes,
Something
that's
like
what
this?
I'm
That's what I'm
hoping
saying.
for.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
criminally to forge your birth certificate and to portray or
But
forge
it-
whatever,
But
it's
it
a
wouldn't
federal
be
paper.
wouldn't be against Obama though. They'd have to find out who did
Who did
the
it.
forgery. Yeah.
Because
But he
see-
didn't he turn that one in to show government that he was an
I-
actual citizen?
I don't know if he
I
did it
think that
himself.
I thought that
I
was
think
it.
was.
But he didn't do the forgery. If he was given the paper, I mean, he might be complicit.
But if he
but-
didn't do it, he can say he didn't know.
But
Right.
also,
He was
is,
really good at that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
is this also mean that he still an American citizen, or are we on a bubble question?
Well, he's an
here?
American citizen, but was he naturally born?
Right.
That's the issue, because to be president, you have to be
and that's
naturally
the whole
born.
question. That's the whole question.
Do you think he knew?
He knew where he was
I think
born.
he knew.
No. Do you well, like, do you think he knew about all of this though? If it does come out that he had a fraudulent birth certificate and that he knew he wasn't naturally born,
But
Uh-huh.
he wanted to
citizen.
be president, so he wanted to be here. What I see this document that the White House was using as his official birth certificate, they were using it as a validation of his birth event, not in lieu of an actual birth certificate is what they were doing. They were using it like that, if you see what I'm saying. Because somebody can hold a driver's license up to you that says it's a driver's license,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And if you don't check it, as far as you're concerned, they have a driver's license, right?
Right.
But if you're a police officer and you have old NCIC over here, you can click over here and call them in and give them that number. And they can tell you, well, that's not a valid ID. That's just only an ID. That's
And-
ID only.
and we're talking
It's
about someone
kind
who
of
ran
the
for
same-
president too. Like,
Yeah.
this is not just you show
Yeah,
your
yeah,
ID
this
and walk
is little
away. This is
stuff.
a little different.
Yeah,
But-
this is just, but I'm just saying, this is, if we did this,
Oh gosh.
Would be under the bus.
we
Mhm.
would be under the bus in like 2 seconds. It wouldn't take what? How many
14,
years?
13 years.
14 years.
Now-
14 years.
Didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Obama's brother that lives in Kenya back then at the time say that he was born in Kenya and not in Hawaii?
And I think they discredited him
They
somehow.
just-
They discredited him.
Yeah.
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 Just like a lot of the other stuff they kind of shoved under the rug and silenced them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
But
they do.
but
though.
his own brother was saying it,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
And now the documents.
Well, these documents prove it. I mean, back then they had, when they did the birth certificates, it was either handwritten, your long form birth certificate. It was either handwritten or it was typed. There
Mm.
was only one or the other. You can't have it both ways. You can't have part of it handwritten and part of it typed. And that's where the discrepancy's been coming into place also, because when they were doing this investigation, they found it in both places. And they were like, wait a minute, it can't be in both places. It was either handwritten or it was typed.
It was typed.
So they finally go, oh, it was typed. Because when they typed it, they could do all the things that we're talking about here. They cut and pasted boxes from hers and put them into his boxes.
I just have a hard time believing that somebody who's in charge of our country, something like this wouldn't have been researched before he could run as a candidate, let
Yeah.
alone be a
But
president.
that's how bad our FBI has been. And it's been the leaders.
Oh.
It's not the people on the ground that we would deal with or that we
No,
would
this
see.
is high up.
These are
stuff.
the people that are high up. I mean,
I know, that's what's
honestly,
scary.
I noticed this kind of stuff back when I was in law enforcement. I noticed it mostly on the justice side because, you know, I'd be on my shifts and see somebody catch them. And back then, you know, there wasn't recreational marijuana.
Right.
And the area of town that I worked in, they didn't discriminate who they were selling it to, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Oh.
And so when I would see the same person that I knew I'd busted before, and I knew they always were holding stuff, I would bust them. And the last time, the one I busted, and it was weird, it was right before my accident. I caught them with, they had pounds of it in the car, pounds and pounds of it in the car, rolls of money in the car. I mean, it was a foot pursuit. It was a whole thing, but we got them, and they were out just as quickly as the times I would find them with just a pocket full.
Really?
And when I came back on duty, they were back there again on the same corner. And that's when I really started thinking, maybe I don't want to be on patrol anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's when I started looking into CID, going up to the Criminal Investigations Department. And I was really thinking about making a move there. And I had talked to a couple of people about it.
You
well,
worked
my
Secret
accident happened.
Service, didn't you?
I did work Secret Service with George W.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
That was right. But that was after my accident. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, it was after my accident. And it's when I tried to come back. But they wanted to put me in criminalistics, doing fingerprints and looking at fingerprints and stuff all day. And that just wasn't my
Yeah.
cup of tea.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a good president.
So here's a question. If it comes out, and I think this is what you were alluding to, Chrissy, if it comes out that the document was, well, it is
It
forged,
is forged.
and then we don't have proof anymore that he was a natural born citizen, which means he would have been disqualified to run for president. What happens to all of the things that he signed as a potentially illegitimate president?
God, Obamacare is going to.
You know, I think President Trump's going
you
through
imagine?
everything file for file. So
Yeah.
I think anything from Obama that's left won't be left any longer. So
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about that.
That
Yeah.
sham of
To be honest.
Obamacare. Are you kidding me?
Well, I
Yeah.
can't afford insurance anymore because of Obamacare. But
Oh.
but so I agree with you. I think most everything that he did will be undone.
And implemented. That's the hugest
Yeah,
thing. Like
yeah,
he's
it'll be
implementing it.
undone. But it doesn't resolve the division and all of the other stuff that are
That are still here today.
yeah.
But I think if people see that this is true, if they watch this video and you look at the you can look at it yourself, and they make it simple, and they make it simple to show you what they look at and kind of how they look at it. And it's more simple than it is complicated when they
Right.
explain it to you. That is, maybe some people might.
It'll be
Calm
interesting
down.
to see if someone really pursues this any further.
Oh no,
and-
they're going to pursue it because everybody. The last question before they cut the news conference. I can't wait to tell you this. Everybody knows Kash Patel got confirmed today, right?
Yes.
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 Okay, and we already know we have Pam Bondi.
Mhm.
All right, I don't even need to say the rest of everybody because everybody knows. He's Sheriff Arpaio's taking the. They have more information than what we're even talking about here.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's even more information. He's got the file and he's taking it to the feds.
Mm.
You know they're going to pursue it. It's the Trump administration. That's only right because the people want to hear it. And he's also demanding that they do it in one of the public hearings, you know, like they do, like when you're having to get confirmed for him.
Right.
He wants them to do it in a public setting so they can show these things that I'm talking about to the whole country at the same time.
I wish we could get a list of what Pam Bondi's about ready to do. I just wish I could get a list of who she's going
I need
after.
to get in her head. Yeah.
I know, because can you imagine? I mean,
New York. She's
New
after
York,
New York right now.
Yeah, where are those DAs
Yeah.
and all that crooked,
Yeah.
everything going on
Kathy
there?
Heichel.
AOC, all of those people.
Yeah, AOC goes in broke
She's-
and becomes
a millionaire. Exactly.
Where'd
Where'd
that
all the
come
money from? Hopefully they'll get to the bottom of it.
On 100-something thousand a year.
Go play
They're
around
supposed to
and
look into that. They're supposed
Yeah.
to look into
they
that
need to
too.
go to Georgia.
Speaking of New York and me being a police officer, I wanted to give a shout out to my brother in blue. That's Ray Stevens. He's at home recovering.
Yes.
He's been
Local city council.
he's
person.
our honorable city councilman, just elected this term. And he's been not feeling very well and just had a surgery. I won't disclose too much, but he's doing good. He's home and resting. And I just wanted to let him and his wife know that we're all still thinking about you. And we haven't forgot you, and we can't wait for you to get healthy enough to come back to
Exactly.
city council.
He's a great guy.
He is a really guy. He's came here and talked on our show
Yeah.
before he was elected, and because we were trying to get a feel for everybody so we could say who should everybody ask us who to vote for, and we're like, we have to get to know him just like you do. So
Right.
we thought we'd have everybody in here when we first started this,
And the easiest thing is just watch.
and he told everybody what his plan was, told everybody what he liked and didn't like, and he got elected.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to give him a shout out. I know he may not watch this, but he will one day. Somebody will tell him.
Somebody
Somebody
will
will tell him that we shouted out to him.
Sure.
Because I'm sure he's probably resting right now. But I just wanted to shout out to him. Now you wanted to talk about the Elon Musk.
Well, I'm going to, but I want to go back to Pam Bondi. She really needs to go after New York. She needs to visit Georgia, maybe Fannie, whatever, down
Oh,
there.
yeah.
A couple other people that are corrupt that try to go after Trump for everything. I think she's going to she's going to dismantle a lot of dreams and a lot of things for people that thought
Yeah.
they were going to get away with certain things.
Well, it's time.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
time.
It is time.
And this brings me into Elon because him and Trump have such a they're two powerhouses that are just came in. They're not the normal politician. Okay, they're businessmen. Two totally different things. One's an innovator. The other one's just a complete businessman.
right.
And they're coming in and changing the economy. And the way that people are freaking out right now because they're exposing how wasteful the government's been with our money
yeah.
is insane. That the left is going so
They should
nuts.
be. Everybody should be happy that
They're
they're
calling
finding
them
it.
Hitler. They're doing all this stuff. And I watched the Hannity interview. I don't know if you guys did with Trump and Elon. And they're saying, what is Elon? First of all, we've got two astronauts stuck
That are
in space
stranded.
that have been stranded there. I think our last president, because he doesn't even know what day of the week it was before he got out,
Right.
he forgot that they were up there.
President
So-
Trump called it lost in space.
Yeah,
Remember
lost
that
in
back
space.
in the day?
Yeah.
Lost
So
in
we're
space,
literally
yeah.
lost in space. So Elon is going to take his SpaceX and go up there and get these people, okay? Because obviously that's what we do when we're Americans and people are stranded. You usually go get them.
You rescue them, yeah.
Right. So that's
usually.
the first thing. The second thing is no one ever talks about the
Neuralink.
Neuralink. This man is creating things that so blind people can see, so people that have spinal injuries can move extremities. Besides the Tesla and PayPal and all of the other things that he's done, and he's in there saving millions,
Right.
hopefully the
And they're
trillions
crying.
of money. And they're like, oh, he's gonna ruin it. What is he doing that is? I mean, he's done so much good.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's being so overlooked, and it's so annoying to watch the crap on the news about them. And like because Elon teamed up with Trump,
Right.
everyone just automatically hates him now. And he
Yeah.
says even when he walks into a room, people are looking at him different, and it's like, I just don't understand why people can't embrace a change. And you know the
They
crazy
have to have a villain. They
yeah,
have
but they
to have a
voted for
villain.
this too.
Yep.
Yeah,
We've
the country voted for them
we
loud
voted
and clear.
We voted for President Trump's vision
Yeah.
and for him to put the people in place that he needed to fulfill that vision, which are his promises.
And which are and not normal politicians. That's the other
Right.
thing. They needed to break down the corruption
Mhm.
that's been going on and been allowed.
Well, the
you know?
government's become a bureaucracy, just like Elon said. It's not even really a democracy anymore. It's not a republic. It's not any of it. I mean,
And they're saying that Trump is the dictator.
right,
That's the craziest
Yeah.
thing.
right.
When he
right.
actually is saying what he's going to, people voted for him to do what he says. He's actually doing what he said he was going to do.
Right.
He's actually hired people to implement it like Elon to make sure the job gets done instead of just signing the executive order and it's sitting there like Biden did and nothing really went with
Biden
them.
didn't know his butt from the hole. in
And the
ground
fact that
from
they hid that for years from us, everybody knew about his mental decline. It still pisses me off because he got a free pass. And
Yeah, my mom was screaming about that from day one. How could his wife let him? How could his wife do that to him? How can his wife just let
They were
them?
making a lot of money.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I told her. I said she likes the attention and all the cash.
I don't even know how The View is still able to have their show. I mean, that is another group
That
of
show's a
miserable
joke.
women. It's just
Yeah.
a bunch of
Well,
miserable women.
at some point, The View, for instance, just becomes this sideshow circus thing that's on TV. It's like watching, what was it called? Jerry Springer.
yeah.
as
No,
the-
even that was more entertaining than The View.
Well, sure.
I literally
That's true.
watched The View. The first time and last time I'll ever watch The View was the day after Trump got elected. I said, I gotta see these bitches' faces today. I had my popcorn, I was ready. And that was the only time I watched the video, and I loved it. They look like their dog just died. Like it was just a horrible event. And to see them all losing their crap because one of the most brilliant, powerful, richest men in the world is teaming up with somebody who's just as powerful in other ways, the president of the United States, and to watch them cry and whine over this, it's crazy. And we're going to mention the Neuralink. We're going to mention he's going to get the astronauts in space with his SpaceX and how that ship just doesn't go up and fall into the water and disappear. He actually designed
brain power to do that.
Yeah, and like on the show, it actually hugs them when it comes down. Like it actually brings you home safely, not drops you in the water, and it's like all of these things. I mean, Tesla. I mean, we make fun of them on this show. They look like ridiculous.
They
The
do
truck.
look ridiculous.
The truck.
Yeah, they do look. The trucks do look.
But how
ridiculous.
cool is it? The car can drive by itself and all of the things that it does, and maybe long term it will help the environment. If that's your
It just kills
If
me
that's your vibe.
because when Biden was president, all you heard about was the Green New Deal, the environment, the environment. Oh,
We
we have
still
to have
don't know what
electric
Kamala ran on.
plug-ins everywhere. We got to install the electric plug-in
Do you still-
charging stations everywhere because everybody's going to be driving electric cars. They thought Elon Musk was the sliced bread that
yeah.
we'd never had
King of the
before.
world.
But now
Kamala ran,
That
and you
he's-
had no idea what she even stood for.
she didn't stand for anything.
I know.
except for cackling.
And then when
Yeah.
she's done, she takes 6 weeks off because it was so exhausting. Yet Trump's out there already putting his cabinet together, doing everything he needed to do. That man hasn't slept. I mean, he's either on an airplane going somewhere. He's been to the Super Bowl, which I'm sure the Secret Service hates him right now between the Super Bowl and the
I'm
Daytona
sure they do.
500.
Yeah.
But again, Americans are at these Americans voted for Trump. He is out there saying, "Hey, I'm here. I'm your president. I'm doing what you told me to do." When Biden was out doing his thing and disappeared, and it was insane.
But let's look at one of the things that they're really complaining about, and that is that Elon Musk is doing all these things and he wasn't elected. That's the dumbest argument I've
He's
ever heard
working
in my
for
life.
free.
Well, beyond that,
Yeah.
president.
You're not even paying him.
Yeah, but beyond that, president and Congress are elected.
Right.
Everybody else in the federal government was hired or appointed.
The
To
biggest
say that
thing
he's
is
not
it's
an
free.
elected,
He's doing all this for free.
I understand, but their argument is that he wasn't elected. Well,
No.
99% of the federal government was not elected, and the corruption that's going on, we didn't vote for. So,
No.
No. And it runs deep.
An unelected, appointed person like Pam Bundy and all the other, they're all appointed. They weren't elected. None of them have been elected all the way back in time. It's just president and Congress that was elected.
That's the way it is.
And that's the way it is, exactly.
But
so
they like to
so
make
the
up
argument,
stuff
oh yeah,
because
they want to scare
people
people.
listen,
They
yeah.
want to scare people. It's shock jock crap,
right.
and it's baloney.
Right.
Yeah,
Total
but do you know
baloney.
what? There's so many people out there now that are speaking the truth, that are seeing the things going on, and that are actually standing up against this now instead of just being silent. Like, I mean, even our studio, you have a platform to speak on. A lot of people didn't do that. They're like even with the Obama stuff, we're afraid to speak out because we might be racist. So
Right.
nobody even touched it with a
I
10-foot
remember.
pole.
I remember feeling that way
Yeah.
at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
now we're in
remember
different
feeling
times.
that way. You couldn't. You couldn't criticize anything that he was doing.
And I'd like to know how
Instant
AOC.
racist.
Right.
I want to know how AOC made her millions that quick when she started from nothing, and now
She
she's
couldn't pay
a
her rent.
multi-million. No,
She was a bartender.
She was a bartender. I got photos of it. Like, it was crazy to see what she would do
Yeah.
on those bars. I'm sure you got them too. I can
No,
admit.
I don't even want to look at it.
I mean, there were memes going around for a while from her photos, and
That's so funny.
she's the one that when she starts talking, it's like just cat scratching a wall, man. It's like, oh,
Yeah, I can't stand her
who
either.
votes for you?
It makes you wonder, don't it?
It really. How do you keep
How
getting?
does she get voted in?
I know.
Because we have a country, and actually goes all the way down to our city, of uninformed people who just check names off of names they recognize because they heard it somewhere, but they know nothing about the person that they're voting for.
To watch Marjorie Greene go after her, I just love it.
Yeah.
And who's the other one? The one with the brown hair who went after her a couple months ago. She's the one who wanted to make sure that all the bathrooms were women and men. Oh, I sent you the video. I forgot what her name was. She went after her too.
much
So
Yeah, I have so much information. I can't keep half of it straight.
it's
I got to
crazy.
even look at my recipes when I'm baking right now because my brain's so fried.
it's a lot to keep up with.
It is a whole lot of stuff to keep up with. There's so much stuff going on right now. I mean, it's just, I don't
It's
know.
almost.
I just feel bad
endless.
for
Yeah.
Elon because like all he wanted to do was come in and help Trump, help give the American people what they want, and this is a bullcrap that comes with
Oh, I'm
it.
sure he wasn't expecting this at all.
No.
I'm sure he wasn't
No,
expecting
he said
it.
that too on that interview. He was, and there's a part 2 coming out sometime this week about it also. But yeah, he said he was not expecting that, and he was only standing up for what he believed in. You know,
Right.
so
Well, sometimes if you stick your head above the crowd,
got to go against the
somebody's going
grain.
to try to chop your head off.
Yeah,
Right.
And that's what they're trying to do to him. That's what they've tried to do to Trump. They tried to kill him. I mean, they shot him
twice.
twice.
They tried to do it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope AOC and all of them start worrying about making sure their bank statements are up to par and everything because
They
Pam's
better-
coming after them.
They better have
They are.
And the next
receipts.
one is Fauci. Someone needs to go after him on the state level. I want to write a letter to the governor because of him making us have to take that COVID vaccine. That's another one that everyone's starting to talk about class action lawsuits coming out and just different things. And he's the next one. Everyone keeps saying they want him. They want him bad. And just because he got that federal pardon, you know that, Alan, you
Yeah.
can go after him on the state level. So I
Yeah,
really think
heard,
that's
I heard
coming.
that on one of your podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Federal pardon from the president only goes for federal crimes.
What he did was disgusting.
He can be charged on a state level.
He did
So-
was wrong. And we're going to have some people on the show that actually got approved to go back now into the services that refuse to take the vaccine and stuff like that and talk about it. And super excited about
I'm
that.
glad he's reinstating all them people in the military.
Yeah.
too,
With
that
back
were-
pay.
With back pay.
Right. That's what they should have got.
Yep.
They shouldn't be able to force that on
Well,
anybody.
you know what the thing is, though? We were all forced to get it. It wasn't just the military. Like, we were all forced to get it. Otherwise, we couldn't work back in 2021 or 2020, whenever it is. So I don't know what they're going to do for everybody. But, yeah, and especially the people that have side effects now from it.
Right.
Hello, so,
yeah.
yeah,
I was lucky my employer didn't force us to get it.
you are very lucky.
Yeah. They left it up to us. They didn't force.
And the other thing was
they
the
wouldn't
kids.
have had a staff.
They wouldn't let the kids in school. They wouldn't let them in school. So that was the other thing. And now you have these poor kids that have long-term disabilities now
They're
because
gonna
of
have
it.
major problems in the
Yeah.
future because they didn't do enough testing on it.
They did none.
They
Right.
did none. We were
We were
the
the-
lab
we were the
rats.
guinea pigs.
Yeah, we were the lab rats for
I'm
real.
just glad I never mind.
Well, we're in your controversial show. You can't say it, Alan.
No, I can't.
Oh, okay. We'll keep it quiet then.
But actually, we're out of time anyway.
All right. Well,
So
great show, guys.
great show. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good all getting back together. It's been a
It
little
is.
bit since we've all three been here.
Might as well keep doing it.
Yeah.
I'm sure something will break in the next few weeks
You
with
know
all
it
of this
you know
going
it's
out.
going
Always
to.
does.
It's going to.
This is getting crazy
And
now.
when it does, we'll break back in.
Yeah.
We sure will.
Yeah.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for viewing. And if you were offended tonight,
Sorry.
too bad.